Good morning, Rudy. Thank you for joining this call. We're going to find out your understanding of the collision regulation, specifically how you handle various scenarios.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me. I'm ready to answer your questions.
Good. Let's start with rule number 6. Safe speed. What factors do you consider when determining a safe speed in any given situation?
Determining a safe speed involves assessment of several factors. The first, visibility is the most important. In restricted visibility, speed must be reduced significantly. I also consider the traffic density, the vessel's maneuverability, and the sea state. The background lighting at night, the presence of any hazard to the navigation, and the vessel's draft in relation to the available depth of water. I also take into account the performance of my radar. In the end, safe speed is the speed at which the vessel can take proper and effective action to avoid collision and be stopped within a distance appropriate to the prevailing circumstances and conditions.
Excellent. Now, let's move on to head-on situation. Describe the actions you will take if you find yourself in head-on situation at night.
In a head-on situation at night, where both vessels see each other's headlights, both vessels are deemed to be approaching each other. There is a risk of collision and both must alter course to starboard. I will immediately assess the situation using visual observation and radar. I will then alter my course to starboard to pass the other vessel on my port side, making the alteration early and substantial. And I will also show my intention by using appropriate sound and light signals. I will continuously monitor the other vessel aspect and movements to make sure that the maneuver is successful and that a close quarters situation does not develop.
Good. Now, let's continue overtaking. What are your responsibilities when overtaking another vessel?
When overtaking another vessel, I am the giveaway vessel. Whether overtaking during day or night, I must keep out of the way of the vessel being overtaken. I must alter my course to pass at safe distance. I also have to show my intention by using appropriate sound and light signals. I must also make sure that the way is clear ahead before commencing the maneuver.
Okay, let's discuss about Rule 15, crossing situation. You observe a vessel approaching from your starboard side. What action will you take?
If I observe a vessel approaching from my starboard side, it means my vessel is the giveaway vessel and the other vessel is stand-on vessel. So I must take action to keep clear. I will assess the risk of collision, and if risk exists, I will take early and substantial action to alter course and avoid crossing ahead of the other vessel. I will also use sound and light signal to indicate my actions. I will then continue to monitor the other vessel until she is finally passed and clear.
Okay, let's consider a variation on that last scenario. You observe a vessel approaching from your port side, and she doesn't take any action to avoid collision. What action would you take?
In this situation, my vessel is stand-on vessel and the other vessel is the giveaway vessel, but the other vessel does not taking appropriate action. So I will first assess if a risk of collision exists. If it does, I will take action to avoid collision. This might involve altering course to starboard, even full starboard, to give the other vessel more sea room. But I would avoid turning toward the other vessel.
Okay, next. Listen my question carefully. Let's say this. You see a ship approaching from your port side. She doesn't taking any action to avoid collision, and you have shallow water to your starboard side. What will you do? Will you stop engines or do a crash stop?
Right, that's tricky one, and we have to think fast on that situation. But my priority is still to avoid collision with the other ship. But with shallow water on our starboard side, I've got limited option. First thing, I'm going to blast the sound signal, 5 short blasts to get their attention. I need to make sure they know we are here and there is a problem. At the same time, I'm quickly checking the CP and TCP on my radar. I'm also considering about how much serum I have to maneuver and how quickly I can stop. And of course, I'm checking the depth of the water all around us. Because of the shallow water on the starboard side, turning to that way is not possible. We will run aground. And turning to port might seem like the only way, but if they suddenly decide to turn starboard at the last second, which is a pretty natural reaction in crossing situation, we're going to be in real trouble. So my first maneuver will be stop the engines. That will reduce our speed and give us more time to find out what's going on and hopefully give them time to do a reaction. I also have better control of the vessel when the engines are stopped. Doing a crash stop by putting the engine full speed astern will definitely stop us quicker, but it's risky maneuver, especially with the shallow water nearby. We will lose a lot of maneuverability when we do that, and the stern of the vessel can swing out in unpredictable ways, which could actually make things worse. Plus, it put a lot of strain on the engines. So, I'd stop the engine first. It's a balance between slowing down and keeping some control on the steering. If it looks like we are still going to collide them, then yeah, I will go for the crash stop as the last option.
So, let's talk about Rule 18. Can you explain it?
Okay, according to Rule 18, a power-driven vessel underway shall keep out of the way of a vessel not under command, a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver, a vessel engaged in fishing, and sailing vessel. Next, a sailing vessel underway shall keep out of the way of a vessel not under command, a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver, and a vessel engaged in fishing. Next, a vessel engaged in fishing when underway shall keep out of the way of a vessel not under command and a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver. Then, any vessel other than a vessel not under command or a vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver shall keep out of the way of vessel constrained by her draft. Finally, a seaplane on the water should generally keep well clear of everyone.